on your program.
Now, let's look at the containment measures. That's the containment law as put down by the Katsina state government. We'll zero in on that, then we spread out. Now, are these strategies, can they forestall what we're seeing in Katsina and in other parts of, the Northwest?
I think to answer that question, I think some of these measures taken so far are long overdue, and we have to commend the respective governments for living up to their responsibilities to the people by taking up these measures. However, a lot needs to be done, and even though it's very commendable, and I believe beyond frustrating the efforts of these bandits, it is also an opportunity to know those who have important role in the whole security challenges of banditry, and those that aid and abet them, informants and their suppliers and what have you. And I think this is far better than, some of the measures. Take, for instance, states of emergency, which people were advocating. And we are living in desperate situations. Therefore, such measures, I think they are quite commendable. What I will implore the people, particularly in those affected areas, is for them to see how best they can cooperate and support the government so that these measures are fully implemented, denying the terrorists some means of, supplies and logistics to the point of abducting such number of people and sustaining them for such period of time. We all know that, and of course we have seen that the measures have started taking their tolls. As part of their action, one of the bandit leaders has the effrontery to tell the public to protest, the government measures. And of course, the reaction of the abductions of today, I believe, is in retaliation to the measures taken by the government. So I believe, and if we are even taking into consideration what happened, take for instance, such measures being taken in the northeastern states where, the Boko Haram terrorists held sway some time back, to a large extent, I believe this will also frustrate the bandits and will give the governor's sense of leadership that's so desired, because these measures are long overdue, and they should be sustained, and they should be more creative and cooperative with one another. And one other thing that I also like to say is that beyond the measures, we are seeing what was lacking before, the synergy, collaboration, and cooperation among those states. We have had instances, these people were for the payment of ransom, others were against the payment of ransom. And we know the implication of payment of ransom for the average individual who is a victim of abduction, whose parents, children, or wives were taken. You have no choice other than to do that. For government to, delve into it, you are abdicating your responsibility. And invariably, it has the corresponding negative effect of arming your enemy.
General, let me take you back to the aspect that concerns the livelihoods and the rights of the people. It's like being caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, like you say. Yeah. But the fact is that these containment measures have hampered the lives of the people. We've not seen them protesting, but in terms of their lives, their ability to do what they need to do. Picture someone who needs to get fuel in a jerry can to probably do certain things at home, these generators, the small ones, but he or she cannot take that particular jerry can to the station now. The person has to come with the generator to the filling station. And even the areas that have to do with, it was mentioned that this particular item is now costing almost 1,000 naira per liter. The hardship these measures will cause.
I was coming to that. I made mention of the fact that these are, trying times that require, such stringent measures. And that is why I implore the public, especially those affected by it, to understand the circumstances under which such, measures have been taken, and to bear with the government because it is with the sincerity of purpose. All right, and we have had instances where such measures were taken in the northeastern states, and it fails. I mean, it gives the desired, result. And I think we are heading towards that. Hence, we have seen the reactions of these criminal elements in the society. Therefore, people should understand. And if you are talking about that, there is no way sometimes you can solve some problems, without inconveniencing people. And these are some of the things. And I think they should have done this long time ago. I think what they should do again, beyond that, we should be innovative and creative enough to see to what extent we can cushion the hardship, especially as it affects the law-abiding people within the society. Most of I think there are timings which we can. So I expect that there are, measures in which the intelligence and security committee, agencies will put eyes on those people that are dubious, in assisting these criminal elements in perpetuating their criminal acts by supplying them these things. And I believe it will not last forever, but we should always look at the, the end, not the means to the end, as it were. It is a very difficult thing, people have to contend with, but I think it's a step in the right direction, but we should be able to be reviewing it as time goes on to see to what extent is paying, the right results.
You've made this point about that in your own view, you think it's coming a bit late. That's the point you made. But still dealing with the issues about palliatives to the people, what measures should the various these state governments put in place now to ensure these measures have been put down there, that the lives of the people, is it supply of free food, is it come to a particular place, you get facilities and equipment and things you need to cook?
Those that really matters, they should also be carried on board so that people will have a fair understanding the essence of all these measures being taken. It is not punitive, but it is meant to address certain security challenges, and we hope it will lead us to the right, objective.
Those who call for, deployment of more troops, because what the state governors have done is clearly a non-kinetic strategy.
Yeah.
Basically just saying, let's stifle and let's strangulate the means of the logistics supply of these criminals. Do you think deployment of more troops can complement this at this particular time?
It is equally important to have more boots on the ground, simply because you need people to enforce the law. And the more you have, the better for you. So the whole idea is that let there be holistic approach. So much as you emphasize on the non-kinetic, be prepared that the kinetic is there to also support the, the non-kinetic measures if they don't work right. But it should not always be the solution to have the kinetic measures, because there are certain things that possibly some of these people that are involved into criminality, they may tell you, although poverty is no excuse for criminality,
clearly,
right? But there are some of them that are involved into this criminal act simply because of ignorance or for want of material thing in life. So these are issues that we are supposed to address, giving employment opportunity, and how do you address the teeming population of the youth in this country, that, they said the idle mind in the devil's workshop. Some of these people, for want of better things to do, somebody will come with a certain amount of money and you have never seen it before, he will entice you. They won't even ask you directly to get involved into criminal activities. They will look at your weaknesses, and before you know it, you have been enslaved to them, that you have no choice other than to be involved. And that is why it is a collective responsibility, cutting across the various strata of the Nigerian society. Those that have been elected to ensure the welfare and security of the people should be doing it, but there are also citizens that are supposed to support the society. And in any way you are, you definitely have a role to play in finding a lasting solution to this problem. It could be at the level of the family system, ensure that your children are well brought up, ensure that whatever amenities are there to the best of your ability, you take care so that they will not be enticed by the criminal elements. And of course, our educational system reinforce the values of the family system. And of course, there the government comes into play, create an enabling environment where an average Nigerian could aspire to become what he or she desires to be, you know. So that means we should be accountable. That means there should be good governance.
So to stay with the issue of good governance, there are not a few of the governors, not just from the northern part of the country, those who they lead, when they go visiting or, you know, do an on-the-spot assessment of maybe particular areas that bandits have hit, we hear reports, we're in the media, of such chief executives being stoned, being heckled and all that. It shows that the citizenry is not pleased with certain actions or inactions of these state chief executives. How do the leaders rebuild the confidence of the people in them so that when they give account, their stewardship can be said to have been reckoned with?
Well, let's assume, you see, whenever we have security issues, I think they should be seen and treated as such, devoid of sentiments or you know, politicization. So if for whatever reason, you know, the citizens are not pleased with those in position of authority, I think the onus is on the person to, in retrospect, to find out why. By the time you have the answer to the question why, I believe you know what to do. For instance, there are issues that you ought to have done, you promised them and you did not do it. And of course, they have to take you, you know, on that. But sometimes there could be issues of communication gap. Okay. You have the best of intentions, you have delegated responsibility, or you have not explained yourself better. So, you know, so these are the measures to take, you know, to address the issue at hand. But just like I said, there is no better panacea to all these things other than, you know, good governance. You have been elected to do this and that and that. For goodness sake, why shouldn't you do it? And if you have no reason, I mean, you have a reason why you will not be able to do it, you should come back to the people and tell them that, look, I promise you X, Y, Z, but because of A, B, C, D, I cannot be able to do that. However, I have this alternative. It's as simple as that. I know, but people will say, well, the issue of administration or management of people is so complex and, you know, and all the rest. But honestly, sincerity of purpose and being forthright with the people will, at any given day, solve the problem. And we have seen it, even among the state governors and some of the elected officials, you can count those that are doing well and those that are not doing well. But those that are doing well, of course, they are connected with the people. They are not deceitful. They are telling them the truth, and the people are seeing it. And I kept on saying every day that an average Nigerian person is a good person, very accommodative, very understanding. So once you carry him or her along, I can rest assure you, you will get the overwhelming support. And I saw this. When I was in the army, we were able to be forthcoming with information with Nigerians, and they assisted us tremendously. And we have seen it where governments, you know, they were forthright with people, they support, despite the fact that sometimes it inconvenienced them, but the people were there with the government. And at the end of the day, you know, there are semblance of peace and security, and everybody is quite happy for it. It's a very simple thing and yet very delicate for the person who is not ready to do his work.
Thanks for checking out SYMFONI on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.